What are you? Are you an actor, a performer, or just a personality that does everything?
Well, it's an interesting question, that. Well, of those three, I'm an actor. But I'm also an Englishman, I'm also gay, I'm also born in Lancashire, I'm also a son. I'm not a father yet. I've a number of things that make up me, but what I do for a living is act. I don't like being a personality. I don't quite know what that means, but and I certainly don't like being a celebrity, and I don't think that's really a part of being an actor. But it's forced on you when you're by studios who want to buy a lot of rather cheap publicity, and they send actors out doing things that they wouldn't normally choose to do for no money in order to advertise the product. But there we go.
But you're thrilled to be here with me.
Certainly am, yes.
The reason I say you're a personality, there are few actors who can entertain in real life. They can be brilliant people with a script, but everybody loves to get you on their chat show because they know you'll be great value.
That's very kind of you to say so, and that is something I've had to learn to do. I mean, since very early days in growing up in Lancashire, where I was a frightened little boy. I was shy. I was bullied. I was the runt, really, and not very clever, not very emotionally developed, no good at sport. The only thing I seemed to be any good at was somehow getting up on a stage where I could feel confident because I was speaking somebody else's words. I knew when I was going to walk. I knew what was coming next, and there was nothing to be frightened of. In those circumstances, I can be as brave and outlandish as the worst of them. But for the rest of life, I was still the boy, even in my teens and 20s and 30s, who really didn't like going to parties very much, and if I did, would sit in the corner and hope it would be over soon. Self-confidence is what I've had to learn as an actor, and the only way I could get to be self-confident was by acting. And I've had to teach myself to be any good at being myself, so-called. You know, if you go on the David Letterman show in the States, or the Jay Leno show, these big chat shows where you are required to be funny, where you're talked to in advance and say, what funny things happened while you were making X-Men 3, and my mind goes totally blank and think, well, if you want someone to be funny, get a professional comedian. I'm not funny. All I can do is hopefully be myself, and myself is really talking rather seriously about my work, not making jokes about it, because I think it's a serious thing that I do for a living. So there we go. If I'm any good at being on these chat shows, it's sweet of you to say that I am, then it's something I've had to learn, and I rehearse, and I watch them and work out how best to do them, and so I take it rather seriously.
Would you prefer not to do them if you had a choice?
I certainly would, yes.
So are you still as shy as you were when you were a child?
Inside there's the yes, I probably am. It's been the best thing about being a success as an actor is that I can now go into a room, and because I know quite a few people are likely to know something about me and will talk to me, I don't feel anywhere near as frightened as I used to in those circumstances.
Where do you think your lack of confidence came from? What happened to make you worried about yourself?
Well, it wasn't that I looked odd. I wasn't a chubby little boy, and I didn't have a funny-looking face. I think probably it was that, quite early on I realised that I was different, and my difference centred on my sexuality. And when I was growing up, to make love to anyone of your own gender was actually against the law. You could be put in prison for it. Well, there's nothing like that for inhibiting a boy's self-confidence. And, I couldn't go to a party and be myself at the risk of someone hitting me and reporting me to the police, literally. So that tends to make you quiet. And before those days, when I was coming to terms with being gay, not a word we used, queer is what we said we were, because everybody else called us queer. You don't get to talk to your parents about it, or your other people in authority in your life who you might trust, like friends of the family or people at church or Sunday school or at school. You're left rather on your own. And if you're on your own, then you're not very confident when you're not on your own.
So you felt like an alien visiting a planet that you didn't really understand?
I felt quite happy about what I was. It was the rest of the world that seemed to be odd, not me. It didn't feel odd to be gay, other people kept telling me I was odd, so there was something wrong with the world. I mean, so I did at least gain that amount of self-confidence. And then when I met other gay people, mainly at university, but principally when I became an actor in the British theatre, where there were fortunately quite a lot of people who were gay, then life got relatively easy, and so it's remained since. But it was hard going, and still is hard going for a lot of people.
I still take calls on phone-ins from people who are struggling with it today. Do you think that coming out business will ever be easy for people?
Well, it gets easier as long as the more at ease the rest of society becomes. When you come out, you have a series of problems. You come out, you're ready to come out, you've had enough of lying, you want to be honest, you want to join the human race, and you tell somebody. And that person says, "Oh, thank you for telling me. That's how wonderful that you shared something so important to you. Thank you very, very much indeed." Now, you're not going to tell your dad, are you? This is your mother speaking. And when you tell your dad, he said, "That's fine with me, son. I love you as much as ever. I always suspected this, but look, you're not going to tell your brother and sister, are you?" And you tell your siblings, and they say, "You're not going to tell your cousins." And everyone's got a problem about somebody else. So it's a long journey coming out. It isn't easy. It takes forever. And if society as a whole is more at ease with the idea of there being gay people around, gay people now who get married, gay people who now celebrate their sexuality, like the government seems to be encouraging us to do at long last, when perhaps now Section 28 has gone, schools can speak openly and positively about gay people and their experiences and their contribution to society, well then when somebody comes out, the world is not going to be shocked. And I know of kids now, 14 or 15, 16, who come out to their parents. And I even know one lad of 12 was sat down by his mother one day. She said, "I've got something to tell you." He said, "What's that?" And she said, "Well, you're gay."